male gametes. That's what makes me male.
No, your sperm don't make you male.
Then what does?
It's a constellation.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
If I see a chicken laying eggs and I say that's a female chicken laying eggs, did I assign female, or am I just observing a physical reality that's happening in the world?
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Well,
Does a chicken commit suicide? Let's
What does that have to do
frame
with-
it, because you're trying to...
Chicken has sex like any biological
A chicken has
organism.
an assigned gender, but a chicken doesn't have a gender identity.
So we assign female to chickens when they lay eggs?
We assume they're female if they lay eggs.
Joining me now, my friend Matt Walsh of The Matt Walsh Show, and of course, the man who made this movie. The movie is called What is a Woman? It's available on dailywire.com. I would highly recommend you go watch it. Matt, what struck me most, and we have a couple clips, but what struck me most about that one wasn't that lady's an unhinged lunatic. Anyone with two eyes and two ears can hear that. It's that human being is not some wingnut on the street corner, Matt, with pink hair waving a sign around. That is an accomplished human being in charge of other people.
Exactly. And that's one thing I hope people realize when they watch the film. It's a disturbing reality, but it's one we have to face, is that these people are everywhere. They're in every major institution. They run these institutions, and they're not just on TikTok or wherever you want to think they are. They're everywhere. And it's pretty disturbing also in medicine, especially. We'll get into this. I got this whole exchange with her about, truth. Whose truth is it? Is there one truth? We all have our own truth. And but she's prescribing, you're giving medical treatments to people. You would hope that when your doctor is giving you a medical treatment that you're both in the same reality together. Otherwise, how do I know if the treatment works just in your reality or only in mine? It's quite disturbing, I think.
Matt, there was a time in this country when the states themselves were encouraged to build churches. That's the America we were founded on. We've gone from that to, as you pointed out, this being mainstream. And again, this is everywhere now. This is now, to do business in the major corporate business world, you almost have to subscribe or at least act like you do to this. How do we go from where we were to where we are? In what universe does that happen in a relatively short amount of time?
I think that one thing to keep in mind is that it's actually, it's not as short a period of time as it may seem. There are kind of these landmarks along the path as you follow the trajectory back into the past. But a lot of this stuff has been bubbling under the surface and has been kind of seeding into the institutions over the course of many decades. We talk about in the film, we go into the history of gender ideology a little bit, and that's a subject that needs its own treatment, its own film, but we can only spend a few minutes on it. But we talk about guys like Alfred Kinsey and John Money, and these are not the only important figures, but they are around. It's around the time when sort of gender ideology started to take its current form, and but it was in academia, it was in government at some levels, among activists, and then it kind of exploded onto the mainstream, I think, over the last few years. And so when we all talk about how this just came out of nowhere, that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about is the kind of entrance into the mainstream, but it was still there under the surface, I think.